What is up, my lovely people in BluCranium land? So as you can tell in this video, I was gonna draw you guys a dog, and I thought my camera was recording until I happened to look at it and I was like, wait a minute, the numbers aren't changing. So I was like, okay then. And this video is gonna start with me showing you what I did for the rough sketch over here, and just going directly into the inking phase, which is also one of my favorite parts of the video, the inking part. I mean, yes, the rough drawing is fun, but when it comes to the inking, I mean, it's just very satisfying just to use that stylus and just get those different line weights, thin lines, thick lines, and then just magically just drop down the color over there. Kind of didn't get carried away over here, and I started to do the detailing, and I was like, you know what, don't get carried away, keep it for later. But anyway, since we're drawing the good old doggy dog, whoa, I wanted to tell you guys about a few of the pets I've had over the years. So when I was younger, I always asked my mom and dad if I could have a pet, and after a lot of asking, they finally decided to get me a little what's it called? I think they're called lovebirds. And my mom's stipulation to me was, first is, let's see how you take care of this, and based on that we will see if we're gonna get you a dog. And guess what? That never happened, because just like she predicted, I was all excited to get the lovebirds when I did get them. And after the first day, I think, or maybe into the second day, it was up to her to tell me. She's like, alright, it's time to change out their water, it's time to put their food in. And I was like, yeah. But fast forwarding into the next few years, the other dog that was part of my life many years ago was a Doberman that my grandma had. And she was by far one of the most coolest pets we ever owned, or at least my grandma owned. And I don't know if y'all were listening in the other illustration that I'd done, where I spoke about my uncle. But he and I used to always take her to the beach, and we used to always play with her in the water. And her favorite thing after we were done playing would be to get a small little cup of vanilla ice cream, which is probably like the size of, I want to say maybe like my palm, but just like a really small version. But what was funny about the story is that it didn't matter how many times we were at the beach, it didn't matter how long we were there, or if we were there just for a short minute, she always made it a point to stand or go and sit down right by the ice cream shop right before we were ready to come home. So it was kind of like her telling my uncle, but like, hey, I came with you to the beach, I played with you, so now I would like my ice cream. And she would devour that ice cream like it's no tomorrow. And I think later on she had some puppies, which was also another fun experience, because it was actually kind of a surprise when we had come down, and my grandma kind of told my dad and my mom that, hey, Jessie just had puppies. And I don't know, I'm trying to remember now if I actually got to play with them or they had already given them away. But I do remember pictures with her sitting with the puppies. And I mean, up until now, I mean, I've never had a pet dog, but I don't know, maybe down the line, if it's intended, I will get one, because something about dogs has always got me really excited to in the fact of like, to play with them and to play catch with them. And dogs have just been my number one choice of preference when it comes to pets, which I tried my best to get it when I was with my mom and dad. But now I know why they didn't get it for me, because my mom was like, she's like, you're gonna get the dog, and then I'm gonna be the one that is gonna clean up after it, put it its meals. And I was like, yeah, she was right. But on the flip side of that, I got to play with my grandma's dog, which is the Doberman, and that was always a fun thing to do. I think in nowadays day and age, with the lives that we live, we're so wrapped up with, what our bosses want, what our spouses want, and, just have that little bit of zen time to just be able to play with a pet. And especially a dog, because, dogs, it doesn't matter if you are gone for a week somewhere, if you've gone for a month, or if you've just been gone for a very long time, their way of greeting you is just out of this world. They are super excited to see you. They'll hop, they'll jump, they'll wag their tail. And I remember whenever we used to come down on vacation from Kuwait, the Doberman that my grandma had, she knew right away it was us at the door. And she would never growl and she would never bark. Yes, if it was somebody other than us, if it was a vendor or somebody other than family members, she would always growl, kind of like, to alert my grandma that, there's somebody else at the door other than family members. But, all in all, very good memories with her. So I think the whole point of making this illustration was kind of like, thank you for all the good memories, and creating her, creating her in this illustration, and just having fun putting this together. The the thick lines that I'm doing over here is another fun thing I like to do when it comes to playing with the line art, to give the illustration that nice beefy kind of look. And for the colors, obviously I wanted to choose something that would be really striky. So I thought of first trying browns, but then I was like, it might kind of look too dull. So I stuck with the blues and just went ahead and did the illustration step by step and just followed along. Gosh, I can't speak today. I don't know what is it about when as soon as I turn on the record option on the tablet, it's like I kind of forget English. And do you guys have the same issue? If you guys are trying to do a voice recording or a voiceover, like I'm talking about like other artists out there. But I don't know how many times I think in my past videos I tried to record. I'll get to like the 10-minute, 12-minute mark, and then I'll like just botch it up, and I was like, it doesn't sound good, and then I'll like delete it and then re-record, and then sometimes it'll come where I'm almost at the end and then I'll mess it up again, and then I'll be like, should I edit it out or should I just record from the part that I messed up? It's always all these 101 questions that kind of go in my mind when making these illustrations. But just having fun making this one, because I haven't I haven't. The last few were, I think the first one was on the tigerfish, the next one was a ram, and then the one after that was a snake. And for some reason, I think nobody really much cared for the snake or the skull, or the snake or the the ram skull. But I had fun illustrating it, and if somebody out there happens to stumble upon it, maybe they'll just enjoy drawing along and just have fun in general. But drawing in Procreate what I've been doing now for these past few videos is really cool, because for me sometimes I get carried away in the aspect of like, I downloaded Adobe Fresco and that's what I was using for the first initial illustrations. But one thing I've definitely noticed in using Adobe Fresco as opposed to Procreate is when you're using the vector brushes, and if your canvas size is a little bit bigger, like say for example if it's above 4500 or 5400 pixels on either side, it tends to get to the point where sometimes it feels like the iPad is kind of struggling a little bit to render as it goes. Because on more than one occasion now I've had it where I'm doing my line art and then all of a sudden it'll just quit on me and just like, just close out, and I'm like, oh man. And but the cool part, what I like about Adobe, and I don't know if it's with all their programs, they have this self-saving feature which is kind of cool. So as you're drawing, it keeps saving it. So if that does ever happen, for the most part when it has happened, I always end up just coming back to where I stopped. But now if the same thing happens in Procreate, it's gone. There's no recovering it. There's no auto save feature. So that's definitely one drawback. That is something that it would be nice if they could fix it. But as you can see over here, I just added the leaves and kind of to give it more of a storyline, to make it seem like this dog had just been sitting over there for a while, and these leaves coming out of it. But as I said earlier, like for the colors, I wanted to choose something more monochromatic at first, but then I was like, I kind of really enjoy the blues, so I chose, this is one of my favorite blues to color in, because it has that nice soft look to it. Maybe that's just me, but I like how when you shade with this blue, it has a very nice, very zen kind of a look and feel to it. So for the teeth, I chose the beige color, and I could have possibly kept it white, but then I was like, it would kind of clash with the background, so just kept it simple and just used two colors, well actually three, because the inside of the eyes and the nose are a darker shade of blue. And for the illustration on this one now, I'm sorry, not the illustration, the shadowing, as you can tell, already losing my words, I wanted to do something a little bit different that I've not done with the other ones, and I wanted to play around with the smudge tool, which is, you can't really see it over here, but it's in the top right corner, and I think it's the one right after the brush, or I think it's right after the brush. So I went ahead and did the first dark shading of the different parts of the skull, and then the smudge tool is cool in the aspect is you can actually change out the brush you want for the smudge. So what I did was I selected the brush, which is called, I think it's called the dry brush, and it has this nice unique textured look and feel to the brush. It almost feels like if you had taken a piece of sandpaper and put paint on it and just rubbed it on a piece of paper. That's the kind of effect it kind of gives. It kind of gives you that nice rustic, weathered kind of a look, and especially when you're drawing skulls, having that look definitely does add some character and storytelling to the skulls. Besides doing my regular shading that I do, I went ahead and added like another darker shade to the already shaded area that I'd done, so I could, as I told you earlier, mess around with the sponge option to see how the look and feel would come out for the texture. And I used the selection tool, which is that's kind of my favorite tool to apply shading, because it always gives each illustration a nice, very unique kind of a wavy zigzaggy kind of a pattern, which you can't really get if you try it with just the stylus. So just following the areas that were already shaded and filling that in. And then for these little parts, you gotta sometimes do it manually because it's just too small to have to fill in. And now I went ahead and selected the smudge tool, and you can see how the colors are blending. So it almost gives it like a nice watercolor kind of digital watercolor look to the illustration, which is something I think I've tried on older illustrations, and I did it with the airbrush, but the smudge tool has definitely got that nice supple, kind of a really soft blend feel to it. So I thought of using it for this one. I mean, yeah, the airbrush has that nice soft look too, but with the airbrush, what ends up happening is the blend effect of the color that you're using it in has it you cannot really tell where the actual blend happens. I mean, like now with this, you can obviously tell by looking at where the two distinct colors are, and then when you go over it with the smudge tool, it gives that nice wettish look, which I think is cool, especially when you're drawing skulls, to give it that nice textured look. For the highlights over here now, what I did different is I used the beige color of the teeth, and then just wanted to use that as the highlights as opposed to using the white color, because obviously the background is already white, and I like how it gave it a very nice, very subtle electric kind of a neon kind of a look. And I think I don't remember if I wanted to or tried to see if I could blend this or not, but I think I don't remember what I was trying to do over here. Yes, I was trying to fill in the highlight in that particular area, and it didn't really show up as good over here because it was kind of underneath that layer, so it kind of gave like a, what do you call it, under the water kind of look when you look at something, which I thought was kind of cool. Every illustration is unique in that aspect. I mean, like, some things come out nice, and then some things are kind of like, so that's what I do when I make these illustrations. I always keep in mind what I liked and then try to incorporate it in the future illustrations, so that way there's always something to try, something different, learn something different, and all that. This has got like that nice sandpaper look to it, and I think against the blue it has that nice ocean kind of sand kind of look. I didn't think about it when I was doing it, but now that I'm doing the voiceover, I kind of see how it could be that nice Caribbean kind of tropical kind of look for the skull. But I mean, when you do your illustrations, it's all about trying something different that you haven't tried before. So if you find something you like, you can go ahead and use it again in the newer illustration. And if you do something you don't like, then obviously you won't be repeating that. But Procreate by itself has got so many different brushes and options to try. So it's nice to experiment and keep trying. Anyway guys, this will be the end of the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed drawing along with me and listening to my fun dog stories and all that. But till the next time, keep creating, keep drawing. I will see y'all down the road or the other side. Take care. Bye for now.